is a country with Lebanese nationality, a country in the West Asia region. For convenience, throughout the video we will call this country Lebanon. Lebanon's full name is the Republic of Lebanon, with an area of 10,425 square kilometers, surrounded by Syria, Israel, and the Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon is located 225 kilometers northwest of the island. This country has a coastline of 225 kilometers and historically played an important role as a mediator connecting the Mediterranean world with India and the East Asia region. The official language of Lebanon is Arabic. Both English and French are taught in schools, so most Lebanese people are bilingual. Currently, Lebanon's population is about 6.7 million. This figure does not include refugees from Syria and Palestine. Lebanon is a multi-ethnic country, with Arabs making up 95% of the population, 4% Armenians, and the rest are other minority ethnic groups. Lebanon is also a multi-religious country, with 18 recognized religions and sects. Among them, Islam is the largest religion, accounting for about 55% of the population, Christianity about 40%, and the Druze community 5%. Regarding the Druze community, according to our research, this is a minority religion originating from West Asia. The Druze community is a religion based on the teachings of senior Islamic figures and Greek philosophers. Their faith combines elements of Islam, Taoism, Hinduism, philosophy, and other beliefs to create a distinct theology. Currently, the Druze community is mainly concentrated in Lebanon and Syria. The Republic of Lebanon has very unique natural. Looking at the topographic map, we can divide this country into 4 geographical regions. First is the coastal plain area. This area is quite narrow, stretching along the eastern coast of the Mediterranean. The widest part is 6.5 kilometers, located near the north. The narrowest part is only about 1.5 kilometers in the south of Sidon. The plain area is where fruits and vegetables are produced. This is also where the majority of Lebanon's population is. Following the plain is the mountainous area. Among them, the Lebanon mountain range, 170 kilometers long, is the largest mountain range in Lebanon. The Lebanon mountain range is 10 to 60 kilometers wide. It runs parallel to the Mediterranean coastline. The altitude ranges from 2,000 to 2,500 meters. Among them, Kernet Sada Peak at 3,088 meters is the highest point in Lebanon's territory. This mountain range is also home to the Cedars of God, also known as the Forest of the Cedars of God. This area is the last remnant of the vast cedar forests that once thrived in the Lebanon mountain range. Legend has it that God planted these cedar trees. You may not know, cedar is mentioned many times in the Bible and ancient texts. Currently, the forest covers an area of 10.2 hectares and is strictly protected. In 1998, the Cedars of God were added to UNESCO's World Heritage List. Briefly about the cedar tree, it can be said that the Lebanese cedar is one of the most magnificent trees in the world. They once covered the entire Lebanon range and are now a national symbol, the pride of the people, and even appear on the flag of the Republic of Lebanon. The Lebanese cedar has a large trunk, dense foliage, wide spreading canopy, and dark gray bark. But its wood is beautifully light, hard and durable, and its resin is very fragrant. This plant is famous in history as one of the most valuable building materials in the ancient world, creating the fame and aura of the Lebanon mountain range. The Phoenicians used them to build ships to travel across the Mediterranean, and became one of the first maritime nations in the world. They were also used by the Assyrians, Babylonians, Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, and Persians to build houses, temples, and for mummification. However, due to overexploitation, this tree species has faced the risk of extinction. Currently, about 20% of Lebanon's area is forested, and they hope to increase this in the near future. The next geographical area is the Bekaa Valley. This is a fertile valley located to the east of the Lebanon mountain range. This area is 120 kilometers long and about 16 kilometers wide. It is part of the northeastern extension of the Breathtaking Valley, stretching approximately 7 from Liechtenstein in Asia to Wajir Beach in southeastern Africa. This valley area receives limited rainfall, especially in the north, due to the Lebanon mountain range blocking rain-bearing clouds from the sea. Therefore, this area is only suitable for nomadic livestock grazing. Today, this valley accounts for about 40% of Liechtenstein's agricultural land area. This is home to small vineyards and Liechtenstein's famous wineries. Winemaking has a tradition dating back 6,000 years. There are currently nearly 20 wineries in the Bequa Valley, producing over 6 million bottles of wine annually. The final area is the Anti-Lebanon mountain range. This mountain range stretches 150 kilometers to the south, forming part of the border between Syria and Liechtenstein. Most of its range lies in Syria. The ecosystem of this area is quite rich, with various plant types such as deciduous forests, coniferous, alpine plant communities, and apricot and cherry forests. In general, Liechtenstein features a Mediterranean climate and has 4 seasons. Summer is hot and dry and long, winter is cool, and this is also the country's rainy season. Autumn is mild as a transitional season with low temperatures and little rain. Spring often has localized rains that help vegetation revive. Topographical variation creates clear differences between. The coastal area is warm and slightly humid, while in high mountain areas, temperatures often drop low. Mountain peaks are often covered with snow year-round. In summer, the weather is quite hot and there is almost no rain. The highest temperature in July ranges from 28 to 30 degrees Celsius, while the lowest temperature in January is around 2 degrees Celsius. Average annual rainfall ranges from 750 to 1,000. In the valley area, rainfall is less, from 380 to 640 millimeters. Rivers in Liechtenstein are mainly short, steep, and all originate from the Liechtenstein mountain area. Among them, the Litani River is over 140 kilometers long. This is also the longest river in Liechtenstein. The Litani River flows southwest through the Bequa Valley and empties into the Mediterranean. This river is the source of domestic water for the entire southern region and Liechtenstein's territory. Hydroelectric projects on the Litani River have long been developed by the government. However, many structures were damaged by Israeli airstrikes during conflicts with that country, and Palestinian disturbances. Geopolitical factors in recent decades have always put pressure on Liechtenstein's economy. Therefore, Liechtenstein's economy is very unstable. Previously, Liechtenstein's economy was a regional trading hub, connecting the Arab world with Europe and Africa. Then the Civil War broke out, lasting from 1975 to 1990, causing long-term consequences for Liechtenstein's economy. After the Civil War, Liechtenstein embarked on an ambitious reconstruction program, requiring extensive renovation of national infrastructure and initially people's quality of life improved, incomes increased, and there were many foreign investments. However, everything changed quickly. In 2011, a war in Syria broke out, changing all of Liechtenstein and plunging the country's economy into crisis. The massive wave of refugees to Liechtenstein caused an enormous humanitarian crisis. Liechtenstein's 2011 GDP was 330.15 billion Liechtenstein pounds, approximately 21.8 billion US. GDP per capita was $3,253 United States dollars, approximately 49,206. People's lives are very difficult, especially for refugees. To date, global issues such as COVID-19, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and the US-China trade war have prevented this country from escaping crisis. Rising inflation, currency devaluation, financial crisis, and significant damage to the banking system, with government estimates around $69 billion. And currently, Liechtenstein has declared bank. Liechtenstein's economy has 3 main pillars: agriculture, industry, and service. Among these, the most important sector and also the leading spearhead of Liechtenstein is services. Its main source of income, but due to being affected by war and crisis, Liechtenstein. However, few know that alongside a perpetually crisis-stricken country, there exist rare beauties found almost nowhere else. Like Jordan and Israel, Liechtenstein doesn't have many natural resources, but many resource-poor countries still develop well. Liechtenstein's most valuable resource is its natural landscape, with stunning scenery, layered mountains, and scenic spots that seem not to exist in this world. One of these is Batara Gorge Waterfall, considered a masterpiece of nature with 3 waterfall tiers. This waterfall was discovered by French biologist Henri Coifet in 1952. Batara Gorge Waterfall is located in Bala village, regarded as a unique waterfall in the world. The waterfall flows from a height of 255 meters into Batara, through massive Jurassic limestone rocks. Geologists believe the rock formation creating this waterfall dates back millions of years, when dinosaurs still roamed the planet. Currently, Liechtenstein is divided into 9 administrative units, with Beirut as the capital and largest city. Besides Beirut, Liechtenstein has 2 other major cities, Tripoli in the north and Bayar in the south. These three coastal cities are the most worthwhile places to visit in Liechtenstein. First is the capital Beirut, Liechtenstein's largest city with an area of 100 square kilometers. And the current population is approximately 2.2. This is also one of the oldest cities in the world. Beirut City is home to Beirut Port, Liechtenstein's busiest seaport with an area of 1.2 square kilometers. Previously, this port had an annual capacity of up to 8 million tons of cargo and could handle 1.4 million containers. On August 4, 2020, a massive explosion occurred at this port. The explosion formed a mushroom cloud, but experts said this wasn't due to a nuclear bomb, but rather ammonium nitrate. The explosion killed hundreds, injured over 5,000, and left about 300,000 people homeless. Damage was estimated at tens of billions of dollars. However, this wasn't the first time the capital Beirut was devastated. The city has been destroyed multiple times by natural disasters and civil war. But Beirut has stood firm after 7 reconstructions. This city was once called the Paris of the Middle East, not only because of cultural courage, but also because of heritage from the French colonial period. You can easily explore historical traces from many ancient civilizations, like Greek, Roman, Ottoman in every corner of the city. Be a history lover, you can. Which displays many of Liechtenstein's artifacts. Most notably, there are many ivory-colored statues, ancient horse statues, or youth statues from Phoenician civilization. Religious structures in Beirut also attract many tourists. Al-Awami Mosque was built in the 12th century, and Muhammad Al-Amin Mosque was built in 2008. With its famous blue dome being representative Islamic structures in the capital Beirut. The diversity of beliefs in Beirut is also shown by the Greek Orthodox Church, St. George, built during the Byzantine era, located next to a modern mosque. From the famous Corniche pedestrian walkway, we can gaze out at the vast Mediterranean Sea. And nowhere is Beirut's cultural diversity more apparent than here. With Muslim women in hijab blending with Beirut youth dressed in Western style. Strolling alongside tourists from around the world. You can also watch the sunset descend behind the two pigeon rocks. Or choose a prime spot from the seaside restaurants. Leaving Beirut, you can go to Tripoli City, located about 70 kilometers north of the capital and taking only about 2 hours by car. This is the second most populous city in Lebanon. If you observe on a satellite map, you will see that Tripoli is very uniformly and systematic. Currently, Lebanon has the goal of reviving the cultural and artistic city of Tripoli. For Lebanon, the city's artistic history is considered remnants of the past that have been overshadowed by poverty, corruption, and waves of migration, or in other words, a place where cultural revival is difficult. But Tripoli once had a particularly long-standing cinema tradition. There were up to 35 cinemas throughout the city, including Lebanon's first cinema. The Empire Cinema is the last of the 5 historic cinemas still existing in Tripoli's Antel Square. Surrounding the clock tower gifted by the 34th Emperor of the Ottoman Empire, Abdul Hamid II, in the 20th century. Additionally, off the coast of Tripoli, there are several small islands, of which Avid Island is the largest with an area of 20 hectares. Today, this place is one of the reserves for rare bird and rabbit species. The reserve was recognized by UNESCO in 1992. Activities such as camping, lighting fires, or vandalism are all prohibited. Visitors can only relax and swim in the beach area. Rabbit Island is also a cultural heritage site. Here, many traces of humans and structures from the Crusader period have been found. From Tripoli, you can also go to the city of Tyre, which is located about 65 kilometers south of the capital Beirut. This is also the 4th largest city in Lebanon. This city is currently among the top 15 oldest cities in the world. It was founded in 2750 BC. The ancient city of Tyre is evidence of a golden age of the Phoenician commercial empire in ancient times. The city's name appears in commemorative works from 1300 BC. The city of Tyre has 2 ports, one located on the southern side and one on the northern side. It was thanks to these 2 ports that Tyre became an important maritime hub in the Mediterranean in the past. The city of Tyre played a very important role in the commerce of the ancient world. According to ancient historical records, Tyrian merchants were among the first to venture throughout the Mediterranean. They established colonies on coastal strips and on nearby islands in the Aegean Sea, in Greece, in North Africa, in Carthage, and in other places. In Sicily and Kos, in Tartessos in Spain, and beyond the Pillars of Hercules at Gibraltar, today's Strait of Gibraltar. At its peak, the island city of Tyre was very carefully defended with high walls. Currently, many ancient remains of the Greeks and Romans are still preserved. The ancient city of Tyre was recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site in 1984. If not for war and unrest, Lebanon might have developed further. Unfortunately, wars and crises in the region have pushed this country into dire straits. Hopefully, in the near future, Lebanon will see certain improvements in both economy and politics. These were the information about Lebanon. You see, this land has pushed this country into dire straits. Subscribe to the Whispers of the Weird channel. Subscribe to the Whispers of the Weird channel.